Okay, my name is Robert O'Brien, and today what I'll be doing is showing you the manual method of doing the QIAGEN MinElute post-PCR cleanup. First of all, you would need to get the MinElute kit from QIAGEN. In it, it contains 3 different buffers that you'll need. You'll have your buffer PB or buffer PBI. You'll have a buffer PE, which is called your wash buffer. And then finally, you'll have your elution buffer, which is your buffer EB. You also will get in the kit a package of spin columns, and these actually have to be stored in the refrigerator. Okay. The first thing you should do is go ahead and label your tubes. I have 2 tubes here with post-amplified product, and I just need to get 2 of the final tubes I'm going to use. And these will be sterile 1.5 milliliters microcentrifuge tubes. I'm going to go ahead and label them also with my sample numbers 1 and 2. And then I'll need 2 of the spin column assemblies. And I'll go ahead and label the top of those also 1 and 2. In the first part of the procedure, you have to add 5 times your volume of amplified product, but 5 times the volume of amplified product in buffer PBI. So for this amplification reaction, it was a 25 microliter reaction. So therefore, I need to add 125 microliters of buffer PBI. Now when you first add the buffer, you'll notice there's a difference in viscosity of the liquid. So you should probably mix up and down a couple times just so you can get a nice homogeneous mixture. And I'll do it again for the other sample. Once you add the buffer PBI to both of your solutions, what you will do now is transfer this entire volume into your spin column. And because I had 25 there and I added 125, I'll set my pipette to 150 microliters. Okay, once you've added the buffer PBI onto the actual spin column membranes, now you're going to do a spin for 1 minute, and your centrifuge should be set at 13,000 RPM. All the spins in this procedure are for 1 minute at 13,000 RPM, so you won't have to change your centrifuge settings at any time. Just make sure they're balanced in the centrifuge. During this 1 minute spin, what is happening is the DNA is being bound to the actual silica membrane that is in the microcentrifuge, the purple column. The next step after this is finished spinning is going to be the wash step. So the first thing I'll need to do is to remove the liquid that spins through the column, and then I will add my buffer PE to wash it. Okay, I'm going to remove them out of the centrifuge. And I need to remove the excess liquid that's in there. This can either be just poured off, decanted off, or you can remove it with a pipette. And then you place the spin column back inside the collection tube. Okay, so for the second step, I have to add 750 microliters of buffer PE. This is to wash it. This should be added slowly because it fills all the way to the top, and if you add it too quickly, it can splash out. We place it back in the microcentrifuge. And we spin again for 1 minute at 13,000 RPM. When using the buffer PE, just remember that this is reconstituted with 100% ethanol, and it's very easy to evaporate. So always keep the lid closed when you're actually using anything from the buffer PE, even between uses. Once again, you're going to remove the liquid that was collected into the base of the collection tube. After you remove the liquid, you do one more spin. This time you don't add anything to the collection column. In this 1 minute spin, what you're doing is removing any of the excess buffer PE, which contains ethanol, off of the silica membrane and off of the sides of the collection tube. Okay, now for the next step, you can go ahead and remove the spin column from the collection tube, and now you're going to place it into the microcentrifuge tube where you're going to have your final sample will be collected. And then these can be discarded. Now to the membrane on the spin column, we're going to place 10 microliters of the elution buffer. When adding the elution buffer, you need to make sure that you're going directly onto the membrane but don't go too close so that you can poke a hole through the membrane. Now you let the elution buffer sit on the membrane for 1 minute. Once it has sat for 1 minute, then you'll do one more final spin for 1 minute at 13,000 RPM. And during this last spin, the DNA is being removed from the silica membrane, and it will be collected at a final volume of about 8 to 10 microliters in the base of the microcentrifuge tube. And now you'll remove the spin column and discard that. And then the 8 to 10 microliters that's on the base of the tube, this is now purified DNA, and it can be taken on to the typing process.